let's talk about the journey of a song. More specifically, let's talk about the journey of one of my songs. Even more specifically, let's talk about the journey from beginning to end of this song in particular. Hit it. Ready? Let's get into it. What's going on, everybody? My name is Isaiah Dominguez, as you may have gathered, and today I wanted to walk you through my song, When I'm Gone, from beginning to end in my creative process, just because it took some twists and turns that I didn't expect when I started writing it, and I thought that you guys might enjoy maybe a look into my creative process. Maybe it'll help you with your creative process. Maybe it'll help you with your songwriting. I do think it was interesting, and I felt like it made me create a way better product than I had started with. Because unlike traditional songwriting, my song did not start on a piece of paper with a pencil. It started actually with an Instagram video. Let me play that for you guys right now. So, as you can tell, if you paid even a little bit of attention to that Instagram video, I had originally intended this song to be a Death Cab for Cutie, piano-driven, ballad-type, sad, kind of existential type song. Obviously, it did not end up in that area. Around the same time, I had been listening a lot to an artist called Miguel and was really interested in creating more of a like pop vocal-driven type song. And I thought that this would be a really good way to like integrate those two things. And when the piano part kept like playing in my head, I kept trying to write something for it. Every time I just felt like it didn't fit until one day the lyrics clicked with me. I was in the shower, kind of probably just singing as one does in the shower, and just kind of like belted out this melody that I was very much so enamored with at the time, which in retrospect never made it anywhere onto the record. So I guess it wasn't that great of a melody line for me to come up with, but at the time I was very enamored with it, and I took it down as a voice memo, as I do with all song ideas that I have in the shower, in the car, anywhere else where I might need a voice memo. And I named it Let Go, and I named the second part that I had written Let Go Too. Now eventually I would rewrite these lyrics twice over because I wasn't satisfied with the melody lines that I came up with, and I wasn't satisfied with the lyric content that I was looking for at the time. And I guess before I get any further into why I rewrote those lyrics, I'll show you that very first voice memo, huh?
Baby, it'll be alright. Right now I'm just caught in the middle.
Crazy, right? Crazy how a song can sound so different at its conception than it can at the very end when you've produced the entire thing and you've had the chance to explore every single avenue in production, pre-production, demo process. And speaking of demo process, after I had created this voice memo, the next logical step for me to do was to demo out this song in its entirety, kind of give it some electronically programmed drums. I wanted to keep it pretty natural. But as I was demoing it, I came up with this arpeggiated bass line, or it was just like kind of a thumping, oscillating bass line in the background, and I felt like it turned the song from this piano ballad into more of that pop world that I was trying to lean into on this one. Very still, very smooth, still very like moody. So the entire time I was really in love with this like demo production that I had come up with. And I felt good enough about it to feel like it deserved to be on the record. So I sent it over to my friend John Scholl to throw some drums on top of it. and he did more than an amazing job. I'll show you guys. I actually sent him a note that said I wanted this song to sound like a drum part from the 1975. It was written in the drum production notes that I had sent over to him. So apparently I wanted to sound like the 1975 at the very beginning. Maybe you can hear it on these demos that I'm about to play for you, but here is the pre-production demo. If you listen closely, you'll hear one really nasty fuzz line on top of that guitar lead line that eventually made it onto the actual production. So, demos. This is what they sound like. They're not pretty, they're not beautiful, but they get you the gist of the song so that you can create something on top of it, so that you can have the good skeleton there. So anyways, this was the skeleton that I gave John Schold to do drums to, and I am beyond amazed that he was able to create something so great off of this. So here it is. So, after creating the pre-production demo, sending it over to John, him putting all the awesome drums down on top of it, syncing those things right to the grid, making sure everything was tight and clean, all that we had left was to flesh out the rest of the production, the rest of the instrumentation, which is everything that you hear on the record right now, on When I'm Gone, on Holy Ghost. All that instrumentation kept from the original production. And during that time, I realized kind of over and over this nagging thought that the weakest part of the song was actually its melody and its lyrical content, which is not great for a song that I wanted to be kind of a vocal-driven pop song, right? So I completely overhauled all of the lyrics. I completely changed what the song was about lyrically and even melodically. So changed it to a more stripped down, simple chorus so that you could hear these layers of instrumentation that I had put down, kind of appreciate the production for what it is. And then also completely changed the subject matter of the song, because I felt like at the time it was a real downer of a song to end a record on. And I wanted to end it on something that was a little bit more, real to myself, to who I am at this point in time, and a little bit real to like the relationships that I have and the relationship that I have and all of that kind of stuff. So I wanted to make sure that I was continuing to stay true to who I was and not trying to write something for someone else. But if it happened to have someone else be able to identify with it, then that's bonus bucks in the bank. So after that, you have the raw production, which is what I will be showing to you guys right now. Right, and the last thing was to send this sucker off to get mixed and mastered. You know, Ryan Dawson did an amazing job bringing these songs a second life. You listen to your own productions and your own songwriting over and over and over in the record-making process, and you begin to second guess and doubt yourself and doubt the quality of the art that you're making. And he really brought to the table an instrument that I think people take for granted, and that is the instrument of production and the instrument of mixing and the instrument of mastering. It's totally a different world. I don't mind someone else taking the wheel in that aspect because I feel like they will identify things that I won't hear. And so you're left with the final rendition. I will leave it on the end of this video. That's it. You made it to the end. You made it through the journey with me, which is a reward in and of itself, but I will be putting this song When I'm Gone at the end of the video so that you can listen to it with those old earballs. And if you like the video, if you like it when I kind of walk people through the production, walk people through what it takes to make a record, maybe leave me a comment down below, throw me a like, throw me a subscribe. That would be awesome. I always appreciate that. Tell all your friends about this channel, and I will see you guys out on the road this spring, summer, fall. Come out to a show if you can, and I'll see you guys in the next video.